right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we're recapping Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank 2025. From surprise moments to major letdowns, Ariel and I break down what we loved, what missed, and why this weekend was one for the books. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Hola, primo.
Hola, primo mío. ¿Cómo estás?
For those that aren't able to watch, Ariel and I have luchador masks.
Full on luchador masks. Yes. Eddie has a true lucha libre, old school Mexican style luchador mask. I have a Rey Mysterio mask going. We both look crazy as hell, but we're going into the vibe of Worlds Collide and going over that PLE, which was, I mean, just we're about to get into it. But so if we sound a little tight right now, it's because we're both speaking through very tiny holes in masks, because we are obviously much bigger than the masks we are wearing. So we apologize. And in that, we are going to take these things off. Eddie, you can start taking yours off, so that way there's no dead air while we're not taking them off at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going to take mine.
Yeah, so as I said, we're going to be doing a little Worlds Collide recap, and then a Money in the Bank recap. That's going to be the episode for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. As always, we appreciate your time and the ability for you to sit here and listen to us chat about the PLE that just happened and prep for all the stuff upcoming. And I'm going to kick it to my primo Eddie.
So I'm just going to go out and say it. I mean, it goes without saying, but Worlds Collide was way better than Money in the Bank. Like 1,000% way better than Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I just got my headphones back on, and what I heard, this is what I think I heard, is the Worlds Collide was so much better than Money in the Bank.
Yep,
so much better than Money in the Bank. And I agree with you 1,000,000,000%. It's been Money in the Bank started off promising. It did, but you know what? We'll get to it when we get to it. Eddie, I don't know if you heard, I gave everyone kind of the breakdown what we were doing. I thanked everyone for joining us for a little bit of time. Well, you were taking the mask off, so I think we're both back good to go. You can see our shining faces and just see how joyful we are as we kick off Worlds Collide. So, Eddie, I will let you run with this bad boy to start.
Yeah. And okay, so to start off, what I really loved about Worlds Collide was the presentation, right? Everything from start to finish. What I was really worried about was, I thought now that AAA is under the WWE umbrella, I really thought they were just going to like be in WWE shadow and everything's now updated WWE status, so to speak, right?
Right.
But it was like the complete opposite. They opened up with a history of AAA, vignettes, videos, and then like the little video packages in between matches about why AAA is so important to Lucha Libre in Mexico and how they became what they became and the name that they have now, all these things, and why it's so important, why Worlds Collide, the event itself, why it was so important, everything from start to finish, the national anthems of both countries, the honoring of the rope colors, you know, like even the double logo onto the canvas, like everything. Spot on, fantastic, great job WWE for uplifting the culture of Lucha Libre, for sure.
It was 150% correct, dude. I wrote down, like, the anthems were great. Lillian Garcia did a great job. The ring colors were dope. You know, they had them in the red, green, and white, you know, for Mexico and everything. Rey Mysterio came out, and, you know, he did his opening promo, you know, in Espanol, you know, and a lot of things were given to us in Espanol, you know, like the interviews and all that stuff. So it was just, like, truly, in that first few minutes, I was like, and I mean, like I said, because my moment is watching this with my grandfather. You know, I was watching, you know, Lucha Libre. And I was just like, this is, it's getting me. Like, it's getting me. It was beautiful. It was great. And like you said, the way they did the packages in between and the history of, WrestleMania's been on for 40 years, but we've been on for, 30, whatever years. And then when Worlds Collide, the first one, like I have to go back and watch that one because think I saw it like however many years ago.
Yeah.
But I think now I would have a much more deeper appreciation for it. But yeah, it's that beginning and the way they presented everything and the start to it was absolutely just fantastic. Well done, WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said it already, but I'll say it again. It was way better than Money in the Bank. Like from start to finish, the matches, that first match, right? Like we could definitely jump into that first match which is the 6-man tag, right? And it's Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, Lince Dorado versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and overnight sensation, even though he's not, right? Because he's been in it for a minute. Mr. Iguana, man.
No,
that guy.
No. My favorite part about that is that the lizard got a Spanish fly. That was the best part of it. Is that the lizard took the Spanish. The best part about that lizard being out there. This I was like, oh, come on, my man. Like, at least put a mask on.
Mr. Iguana,
the paint's gonna come off your face, my man. And then why are you wearing like a John Travolta disco outfit to fight this dude? Come on, this gotta be a more comfortable outfit. Something else. Come on, me. But that's just me. No, but it was what a match. Mr. Iguana was just like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, Mr. Iguana, let's see how this goes. Then he comes, he's crawling out and stuff. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then he's got Mr. Sacco.
Yeah.
But lizard. And yeah, so yeah, overnight sensation.
Yeah, no,
because the fact that you text me that, I was like, oh god.
Because bro, he's like incredible, like the most entertaining. He was part of the night. It was like the guy who's, I mean, if this is what people felt about like Orange Cassidy, like when they first saw him like do his shtick, like I get it. I get why people like it so much. Right. But Mr. Iguana is like next level, dude. I mean, the fact that the iguana's pinning people, like it's so good.
No, you gotta give it to Lince Dorado there, because he was the one that had like a program with the lizard. Like, he's scared, and then the Spanish fly was again. The Spanish fly, I was like, this is genius. Like, everything about this is genius, and it's great. And I love the match.
The match. For sure.
I thought the pace was great. It was absolutely amazing. Team Aerostar came out winning with Octagon Jr., right? Sorry, getting the win. You and I both picked these teams to go along, so we'll check off there. And then, if you don't mind, I'll just move on. We're trying to keep everything at the pace. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan are seats, or have ringside seats rather. Dominic starts talking smack to Octagon for winning, and he's like, my deadbeat dad, you guys are honoring him and this and that. And he's like, no man, that's Rey Mysterio, we love him. And then so Dominic gets in the ring, they get physical, and then they call a match for Money in the Bank that will be Dominic Mysterio and Octagon for the Intercontinental Championship. And I was like, add this at the last, like, okay, this is now 2 straight PLEs where you've added something within about 24 hours prior to this being 6 hours prior.
Yeah.
So, but fine. Great. Cool. Once again, love the match. Set up a match for later just to get a little more eyes on a talent from AAA for the people who weren't going to watch AAA Worlds Collide. Now you bring in a talent from there. Octagon is great, so I think it was a good move, and like I said, love the match.
Yeah, no, I loved every bit about it too. I thought it was a great opportunity to not only showcase Octagon Jr., but then also, not necessarily skip into the match in Money in the Bank, but just I will say that Dominic really did a fantastic job in that match. I mean, and we'll go into more details once we get closer to it. But yeah, no, I loved everything about it. I love the pace of the match, like you mentioned, and what a tremendous way to start the night, right? Like we always reference that the first match of the night has to set the tone, and man, did they set the tone. And even Cruz del Toro, man, this guy, always in the background of LWO, but he was on it, man. Like he lucha style for sure, man.
He was great. He was dope.
Yeah. And then we get the next match, which is the women's tag match, which is Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice contra Dalis and Chica Tormenta. And this was just, for the fans. This was Spot Fest. We knew Stephanie and Lola were going to get the win. We get the stereo Demon's Kiss. And the funny thing was Conan was like on commentary, and he was like, oh, wow, this move is amazing. Why did it stop? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't want it to end. So it was like, okay, nice. But
it was Couple spots there that were a little, but yes,
Yeah.
overall great match. Couple things have to be, but they looked great. You talking two of the major talents from the women's division in AAA, and I think it was great. I thought it was awesome. I think it was a fun match. Stephanie Marquette and Lola Weiss, of course. Yes, like you said, get the dub. I'm a big fan of Lola Weiss. Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. And then the was it Dalis? Her husband was ringside, which was also kind of dope because he's a lucha libre legend. But great, it was great. It was dope.
Yeah. Overall, pretty solid match. And then we jump into the third match of the evening, which is the 6-man tag match of Legado del Fantasma contra Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. So actually, for me, right, I love Legado del Fantasma, how they came out all, like battle ready in their, camo pants, right? That was pretty cool.
Right.
Definitely like Psycho Clown's mask, right? With the bedazzled WWE and AAA on one cheek and WWE on the other side. So that was pretty cool.
I mean, don't you figure that tongue would get in your way at some point, or like just be an extra, like probably like whapping it? It's gonna fall off at some point, right? I would imagine. I don't know. For those who didn't see or are listening and know, the tongue is essentially pinned or sewn to the bottom of where the bottom lip would be. It just kind of hangs down past the chin like an actual tongue. And I just figured that would just going to be at some point a hindrance when you're just moving your face.
Yeah. But in regards to the match, to be honest with you, it started off a little slow for me, but then it definitely picked up midway and the spots were fantastic after the fact. But I mean, that was the only thing that I really picked up from that match. The fact that I was like, why is it starting so slow? But I think because these are like the heavier names of both brands, at this level, right. They're like, we have to give them a match. It's not going to be just spots like the first match or the other match. You know what I mean? So they have to really give us a show, give us a match rather. But like I said, the second half of that match, they picked it up, flying all over the place, jumping all over the place. Like, man, wild. But in true lucha style, it was fantastic.
It was great match. I thought Legado del Fantasma did absolutely fantastic against some very, very seasoned lucha libre superstars from Tipla. So I thought it was a great match. I was not. We both got this wrong because both of us went against Legado del Fantasma in our picks. We did not really see that coming, and it came. I mean, Santos and Angel and Berto, they're great. It's tough to say that didn't go the right way. Solid match though. They all put in a bunch of good work. There was a lot of good spots, a lot of good saves. A couple messy things. Like I noticed both PLEs had a couple of spots where I was like, ooh. But it's overall solid match. Well done. We both got this one wrong, so we're both 2-1 here.
Yeah. And then we get the next match, which something that we've been hyped for was the NXT North American Championship Fatal 4-Way with Ethan Page versus Javon Evans versus Ray Phoenix versus Laredo Kid. And this was impressive. I mean, we knew Javon was going to show out, but Ray looked focused. He looked like he was in his element. Laredo Kid was fantastic as well. And even Ethan Page, right? Doing a, like a Frankensteiner. And I was like, yo, okay. Like, what are we doing? Ethan?
No, there was some dope shit. Some dope. Like Ethan Page actually pulled a couple lucha moves out, like you said. Javon Evans was wow. Wow. I truly thought Ray was going to win that. I truly thought at one point I was like, oh no, this is Ray's. Like they're going to give it to him. And because like you said, he looked amazing. Everybody, man, just showed up and showed out. And it's funny because Conan even said, he's like, there is no way that this match is not going to be fire. Like right before the match came on, he's like, there's no way this is not going to be fire. Like it's just impossible. That he's 100% correct. For those who didn't watch, if you're going to watch a match from this PLE and it stinks because you want to accentuate the superstars from Tipla, and this is basically 3 WWE guys and 1, a AAA guy. So it's just but what a match. Yeah. And I think they did the right thing by keeping the belt on Page. I think they did the right thing. You don't want to start moving belts around too quickly, even with storylines. Like I understand the storyline of giving it to Phoenix. I do. But then I also understand that Phoenix wanted to go straight to SmackDown or Raw. He didn't want to have to cross through NXT. Been on SmackDown already a couple times. Why go down? I understand. So solid match, like match of the night all the way around, probably for me in both PLEs. And just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I definitely enjoyed the match too. Actually, I kind of enjoyed the final match of the evening, which is for the Triple A Mega Championship, and it's El Hijo del Vikingo contra Chad Gable. And um I thought this match was fantastic. I thought these guys are incredible together. There was, like you said, a couple of mishaps. I feel like little minor things in each match, but I think they were so minor in all their matches that the overall like showing was spectacular. You even sometimes even
Oh,
forget about
yeah.
it. But
Yeah, no, absolutely.
but
I'm
man,
nitpicking. Like I'm nitpicking.
yeah.
It's stuff like that. But
No,
you're
but
100
I'm
percent
with
right.
you.
This match was dope.
Yeah. No, this match was crazy. Chad Gable with the moonsault and Vikingo. Oh man, like I was so impressed because in my mind, right, we're talking about two wrestlers from two different companies that have never really worked together. So if they were
Mm,
communicating in the ring, we wouldn't know because we couldn't tell, right? Or
mm,
they're both that good that they just let the match flow. I mean, of course they have like some
mm,
points, and yeah, you're gonna hit me over here, that's fine, but
mm.
if you didn't know any of that, you couldn't tell. And I thought it was fantastic. They really showed out for Worlds Collide. I was very happy with the overall PLE. Mhm.
It was a hell of a match. You're 100 percent correct. It was a great match. Chad Gable did awesome. Hijo de Vikingo was great, man. I saw him a couple of matches in AEW a few times. It was just fantastic, and he's just amazing. I felt kind of bad at the end there because it looked like he tweaked his knee or messed his knee up somewhere, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they were ready to go home in that spot, but they did because you could tell he was laboring to get up and get over, and things were kind of tough. Hopefully he's not injured for a long period of time. That would be absolutely terrible because he just got the belt. And last time he held it, they said I think it was like 800 days he had it or something like that. Some kind of crazy record. But yeah, no, great match. Chad Gable looked great. Vikingo looked awesome. It was good to see him at Money in the Bank later in the stands. Not looking like he was at the hospital in any kind of pain. He was there, so hopefully the knee is fine. But yeah, great match. Solid. All of these matches. I mean, they're getting 8 or above for me because this was just a fantastic PLE. Kudos to WWE for pulling it off. Hopefully they continue to do stuff like this and moving forward because it's just it was so great and it was so awesome for the representation of Latinos and Hispanics in the wrestling industry. So it's great.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, so we both got that one right with Vikingo.
Yeah, the only one we both missed was Fantasma.
Legado? Yeah.
That's it.
Dang.
Everybody else we nailed. So we're walking out of this PLE tied.
Yes. All right. I like it.
Tied.
I like my odds here. Well, let's see. So that covers Worlds Collide. Loved it. I watched it like twice already. Now let's move on to Money in the Bank, which I'm going to just come out the gate saying not crazy about it at all. Like, we'll jump into it. We'll jump to the first match of the night, which you called is the women's ladder match. So bonus points for that one because you called it,
Bang.
And since you called it, you want to go ahead and lead us into that one. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, women's money match first, which I did say, and then we had the six ladies: Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Bakar, Julia, Naomi, and Alexa Bliss. And this was a fun match all around. A bunch of great spots, really fantastic moves. And at one point, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and about halfway through the match, I'm like, man, it's a good thing I'm not a gambling man, because if I had put my money on Naomi, I'd have been like, man, this is not going to happen. Then the end of the match came, and there was a spot where there was two wrestlers left, and Naomi's creeping around the outside, and I'm like, oh, no, I have a shot.
Mhm.
And sure enough, Naomi comes in. Fifth time is a charm for her, ladies and gentlemen, as Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah, nah, I agree. The match was fun. There were some good moments from all participants. But again, kind of like you said earlier with the nitpicking, there were minor areas where, like, I think Julia couldn't get the ladder to be at a certain place, things like that. But again, I mean, that's elemental. That's not anybody's fault. You can't anticipate it, especially it's her first like
I mean,
Money in the Bank
not all.
match.
I mean, props for being props. They don't always work 100% of the time,
Right.
especially when you're using things like that. So it is an element. Things that you cannot control. You're 100% correct.
Right. But the one thing that I will call out that like kind of ticked me off was that they made a big deal about Rhea Ripley never being in a ladder match. And I was like, girl, you know what you're doing, because she was putting the ladder right in the corners. Like she knew her way around a ladder. So I'm like, so what was the point of saying that out loud so many times if clearly that's not the case? You know what I mean?
I mean, it was something you could use to sell. It was something you could use to sell because technically she hasn't been on that roster. Like she hasn't. So, and I mean, she's watched enough film to see how things are used, but it's just a point that they could use to push her along to be like, outside of, oh, she's gonna win because she's mommy and she's it's like, she's never been in one, so hey, that could come back against her,
Yeah.
So, and then she did look comfortable doing it, but yeah, no, I understand your beef.
Yeah. And then we get the impromptu match that was set.
So I got that one correct with Naomi.
Yes,
you went with Stephanie.
Yeah, I know. But but I'm happy with the Naomi win. So I accept your point. So
Yeah.
But what's it called? We jump into the impromptu match, which was Dominic and Octagon Jr., which
I think
funny
both of
enough,
us would have got this correct.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what's funny about this one though? As the the promo package at the beginning of Money in the Bank is showing clips of everything, and then out of nowhere there's like a clip of Octagon Jr. And for like a second I'm like, what the heck is that? Who is that? But then I forgot that they made this match out of nowhere. So I was like, oh, they had to put like a little footage of him in there to be part of the package. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they got to do something. Yeah, they got to do something, man. You got to sell them. You made the match, like I said, 6 hours ago, if that. Like, so you got to figure something out quick. Yeah, I wasn't even 6 hours, man. That's crazy. But yeah, it was good match. I'll let you lead off.
Yeah, man. I know. I was gonna say I loved it. I loved every bit of this match. Octagon Jr. really was able to be showcased the best way that he could as a luchador and as a singles competitor, because we saw him in tag team action earlier. But I was really impressed how well he did with Dominic. Like Dominic impressed me that he's able to, because for me, and I hate to say it this way, because Dominic is a WWE superstar, yes, but he's also the son of Rey Mysterio, so he had a little pull to get in there, right? And not to take anything away from Dominic, I'm sure he works hard and he puts in the time, so absolutely. But when you go against luchadors who like eat, sleep, and breathe this every day in Mexico, that Octagon Jr. has probably been wrestling since he was like 7. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those guys that's been in and out like that. And for him to be able to keep up with someone of that caliber was really impressive. So kudos to Dominic, man. Dominic looks stronger and better now as an IC champion and someone that could go against a luchador that's not his father. Fantastic, man. I approve.
Yeah, Dominic's in ring work has definitely been getting better and better over time. Yeah. He's just been improving vastly, which is why I think they've chosen to put the IC belt on him. It's kind of like, okay, like you said, you put the work in, you've done what we've asked you to do, getting better. Let's do it and see if we can work with it. And it's been great. And I thought it was a great match. Octagon's great. So I thought this was fun all the way around. Knew what was going to happen ultimately, but a very, very good match to showcase this. And definitely Dominic showing that he can handle his own with almost anybody in the ring, even though his father is Rey Mysterio and he's got that lucha background. For Dom to be able to keep up with someone like Octagon, who is so seasoned in Lucha Libre and AAA, just absolutely fantastic work, man. Really good match, and that's what it is. So we've had 2 good matches so far, and it's like, man, this pay-per-view should be solid, right? And so far we're working, we're rolling. We're like, all right, kind of cool. All right, look, let's go. And then go ahead.
And then
so we both would have picked this, but we didn't have a chance. So no choices there. Okay.
And then we unfortunately get into this match, which is the.
So let me tell you. You know what? No, I'm gonna save it.
So I will say this. So it is the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. I really did. I enjoyed the match. It actually was really good. They are 2 great performers. I'll give you that. But I hated the ending to this. I hated where we went. Why are we doing it? But when it happened, and we're just gonna say it out loud right now, Becky Lynch ends up
Explain it.
Becky Lynch ends up getting the win. Lyra has to, swallow her pride and lift her arm at the end. Okay, cool. But what I really hated about this match is like, I really wanted this story to end, right? I wanted Bailey to come in, or I wanted Bailey to come in at the end and be like, okay, we're done with Lyra. Let's now make this Bailey and Becky, or, Bailey and Lyra because you let her win, or whatever, however you wanted to do it. But no, now we have to watch 4 more weeks of Monday Night Raw to figure out what's going to happen next. And I hate, like, ugh. That's all. That's all. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think at this point it's kind of funny because you and I had both said in the preview show that we were like, you just kind of want this to end.
Yeah.
And I think I said, I was like, well, because I have, we both got this wrong with our logical picks. But I had Becky for the fun pick. I was like, because if you want to make it and try to draw this out, fine. And that's what they're doing. I agree with you. The match was great. Both women were fantastic. And then you get to the end and you're just like, all right, well, here's to keep this going. I guess you and I get to, A, complain about this particular feud a lot more, and B, have people bitch at us for complaining about this particular.
Yeah, I've been getting the text messages already. I already got the one that said, ooh, how does it feel that the 2 people you don't like ended up winning? And I was like, oh.
Man. So, yeah, man. So, yeah. So we got got those wrong. So as of right now, I've picked one and you've got neither correct.
Yeah, I'm okay with it though.
Yeah.
Then after that match, in a surprising turn of events, right? We thought, you called it actually. You thought that we were going to get a ladder match sandwich, right? And we thought the men's was going to be the last match of the night. But no, it ends up being next because the tag match got moved to the final match, which after we see what happens, we understand why. But now we're jumping into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which involves Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Penta, Andrade, and El Grande Americano. Take it away, Primo. What are your thoughts on this one?
Fuck this. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know we try to lay off profanities. I get it. I have friends whose kids listen, and I apologize. I do. I didn't care for this at all. This was the one thing we didn't want to happen. The one thing we both said, I said it was going to happen, but I still went LA Knight because I'm like, this. He doesn't need the gimmick match. He doesn't need the gimmick match. And you give him the gimmick match again. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's frustrating. It's annoying. He does not need the gimmick match. Stop it. This PLE was essentially a love letter to the Rollins family. Becky Lynch gets the belt. Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank. Okay, debt paid, Hunter. Move on. I did not like this at all. You have a chance to use Money in the Bank and build somebody. You have a year. You have a year to use this. You can build any one of these superstars in a year, given the proper writing and time frame, like timeline. I thought it was a missed opportunity is why I'm angry. Because I think it's a missed opportunity honestly, you weren't going to put it on Grande Americano. You weren't going to put it on Penta or Andrade. LA Knight, you could have, you push him, you bring him back. You push him, you bring him back. You push him, you bring him back. What are we doing? Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a missed opportunity. So I'm going to stop. And once again, I apologize for the profanity.
But I agree with you, man. I agree. I think you said it perfectly. It was absolutely a missed opportunity because then, you get Seth Rollins' crew come out, right? But then you also get the Bloodline to come out, and you could have made this into another thing. Yes, we understand that Solo and Jacob aren't seeing eye to eye, but what if you would have went a direction where Solo won? He's Mr. Money in the Bank, right? At some point, Jacob loses the U.S. title, but now when Solo becomes champion, then he guns for Solo. You get what I'm saying? Like you could have made it into, Civil War 2 again with that, like with the Bloodline storyline. You could have given an opportunity for LA Knight to take the title on and then start new matches, new programs with anybody like Rusev, like Andrade, like Carmelo. Like there's just so many people you could have done this with. And even Penta. Even Penta, because there was a moment that you thought, whoa, Penta could really do this, because he was on that ladder 2, 3, 4 times. And I'm just as aggravated as you, man. We know Andrade wasn't going to get it. We know Grande Americano wasn't going to get it. But I absolutely 1,000% agree with you. Seth Rollins was the wrong choice, because now what's going to happen is every Monday night, we're going to just have this thing rubbed in our face with the Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. Rollins in the Bank, whatever they come up with. We're going to see this for the next 2, 3, 4 months and whatever. Just or the only way that I'll be happy is if he cashes in and he fails. If he fails, then we're back to square one. But then even then, that's still a waste, because, you could have been lifting up another superstar, but instead we're rolling with Rollins. So I agree. Not happy with this match. Oh, well,
he's going to get the belt. He's not going to cash it in and miss it. He's not. There's no way Hunter or him will allow that to happen. This motherfucker's protected as can be. There's no way that's going to happen. So it's just a matter of time, which everybody knows anyway. So why gimmick it? Why? And then, like you said, now we have to have it rubbed in our face. So here's a segment that I get to look forward to, not wanting to watch every week on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Something that I'm going to want to fast forward through, that I'm not going to, because as a wrestling fan, I want to give everything a shot. I want to watch. But the nuisance factor to it, which I get it, because that means you're doing great work in writing and stuff like that. It's just, once again, missed opportunity, because you could be elevating a different superstar with this moment in time with a year to do so. Yeah, Penta's new. But if you give Penta that and you work him the way he's been running great, you do that for 9 months and he cashes in, like right before Mania or something, or, I don't know. I was just confused by it, and I didn't care for it. This was just not a good match. And so I'm going to leave it as just, as I said before, I used the full word, F this match. Just F this match. Nope.
No, it was a good match. Just the ending was terrible. The ending was just terrible. And it ruined the PLE for me. Yeah. That's literally what I was about to say next. Like, you're absolutely right. And it ruined the PLE until the final match, right? And then the final match,
which kind of saved it. But what happened there over the long period of time that we now have to deal with this idiot.
Yeah, no, you're right. But then we get the final match. We get Cody and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. Overall, solid match. I enjoyed it. Logan Paul did fantastic in the match, right? Especially with, people of the caliber of Cody, John, and now Jey Uso. Amazing spots, that backflip off the second rope onto the table, wild. I even like the innovative, selfie while getting suplex from the turnbuckles bit. That was pretty cool.
That shit was dope.
It was good. It was a really good match. It was very enjoyable, and I'll let you tell what happened at the end of that match.
End of the match is Cena and Cody, right? And we get flashback to what happened last pay-per-view, 2 pay-per-views ago, whenever Cody went out with the belt.
Yeah,
right? Right. So, but I'm telling this correctly, right? Right. Where he hits Cody. Cody goes down. Cena pops up, and out of nowhere, not out of nowhere. Sorry. We get a run-in from a hooded figure, black jeans, black boots, black hoodie, black mask. And he jumps in and just starts wailing on one John Cena and beats him. And then I don't know if he unmasks right then and there. And then
he does.
Cody Rhodes, he unmasks right then and there. And we see that it is R-Truth.
Yes.
All of the chanting and the texting and the tweeting and all of it has all come back. And Hunter said, you know what? I'm bringing him back. Or maybe this is part of the play. Who knows? No, you never really know, because you never say, I get it. You never really say it, but he's back, and it was him, and the place loses their mind. Then Cody Rhodes hits Crossroads on John Cena. They get the win, match over, but the return of R-Truth is here, and from everything I've heard, this is not the return of R-Truth. we have seen they fired R-Truth. What we have now is Ron Killings.
Yeah.
So Ron the Truth Killings was his TNA champion name when he left from being K-Quick and R-Truth in WWE the first time. And he has the TNA World Championship under his belt with that name, Ron the Truth Killings. But I was watching the post show and Peter Rosenberg said it. He's like, that wasn't R-Truth. That was Ron Killings. And then all of a sudden I read somewhere today that looks like where they're going.
Yes, which is super exciting because it's almost like I love, even if it's like a happy accident, I love the way they did this because at Saturday night's main event, we had Ron Cena come out. You know, we had the lifelong fan of John Cena and we've had the good versus evil, right? But then John's heel turn is so disheartening to people, even to R-Truth, that he now himself has to come back as a heel. And I really hope they play in that direction. And I really hope like he has like funny vignettes and bits in the background, but they're not funny. They're like jerkish. I hope he's like, nah, man, get out of my face. You know, like cool stuff like that. But we'll see, you know, but I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah. And to your comment earlier, that did save the PLE for me because at that point I was like, why am I still watching this? I'm gonna go back to Mr. Iguana and Worlds Collide because that was way better than anything that happened in Money in the Bank.
The Spanish fight of the iguana. I'm going back to that. But yeah, no, when I saw it happen, I was like, okay. And then when he was laying down at one point, you see that his pants rolled up a little bit, and you can see that there was a black guy, and I'm like, damn, black guy. Who could this be? I was like, I'm trying to think of everyone on the roster and shit. I'm like, and then we took it off, and it was Truth. I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, thank God. And then I was like, oh, I still got to do this idiot won Money in the Bank. Oh, but it saved that. But it saved that. I was good for like a minute. And I was like, yeah, great. And then I'm like, no, this moron. I still got to do this moron. Like, still the buffoon. And then that's why I said it's a love letter to the Rollins family. So that's all I'm saying. But great to see Ron Killings back.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes because hopefully they'll have. I mean, unfortunately, he's not going to get a belt on him or anything like that. But I mean. Because unfortunately, when you make him a heel like this, he's going to lose some fans and some viewers and some, you know, because a lot of his stuff was comedy shtick and funny things, which is not going to work well as a heel unless you can find a way, like you said, to make it that subtle New Day digs and jabs and, you know, stuff like that where they're funny because they are dicks. So we'll see.
Yeah. But overall, final thoughts. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it over and over and over again. Worlds Collide 1,000% better than Money in the Bank this year. I will probably rewatch Worlds Collide, you know, at some point this week. Money in the Bank could have been better. I think you said it perfectly. Missed opportunities there. The only thing that slightly saved it was Ron Killings making his debut or coming back, however you want to look at it. And then ultimately,
well, I mean, I also say Naomi.
Yes, and Naomi. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that one
was a shining star moment.
I didn't expect that. So you're right about that. Yeah. And then the only thing that I will say is I feel like Worlds Collide was probably like a 9 for me, and Money in the Bank was like a 6.5. You know, so that's where I'm at.
I'm gonna go. I agree with everything you say. I'm gonna go Worlds Collide 9, and I'm gonna go Money in the Bank. I'm gonna go 7.5. Just because Naomi winning, Ron coming back, Rey Mysterio, Dominic having the impromptu match that was a good match. So I don't want to take away just because of that one thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna go 7.5. Dancing set between 7 and 7.5, just because I love WWE and they gave Octagon the shot to get there. I'm gonna give them the half point, go 7.5.
Okay. So you know what? Then I'll update mine to 7 because the other thing that I forgot to call out, which I did enjoy, was Pat McAfee and Michael Cole the whole time for, you know, because Michael Cole kept calling Grand Americano Chad Gable, and he's like, they're not the same person. Like you get like the whole night, they're not the same person. So
him and Wade Barrett were losing it. It's like, you should be ashamed of yourself, Michael Cole. You call yourself a journalist. And then he started talking about like, my personal favorite is when Wade Barrett was like, I've studied their nipples because that's what makes a journalist. I can tell what they're different. They have different sized nipples. Cole is like, what? What is happening here?
Yeah, that's the only thing that made that match that much more enjoyable. But yeah, man, I agree. Worlds Collide a 9, and then I give Money in the Bank a 7. And yeah, man, I'm good, brother. Any other final thoughts?
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to say to the world?
Nah, brother. Thank you to WWE for doing right by AAA, man. That was a great pay-per-view, a great PLE. Thank you very much for being respectful and honorful of all the vignettes and the superstars and everything that were there and were honored along the way. So I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, agreed. I second that. Bueno, primo. Entonces, como siempre, you know what to do.
Como siempre. Yeah, I was just grabbing mine. Thank you very much, listeners, viewers, friends, family, everybody who's out there who's giving us the time of day to chat, listen, follow, like, all the good stuff. Please find us on all the platforms, freedomsforlife.com, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, all the places. Please click, like, follow, send, share. Get in touch with us if you want to be on, if you want to chat wrestling. Thank you again to WWE for one great PLE and one okay PLE. And other than that, we got nothing more to say. So between my luchador mask and myself, nos vemos cuando nos vemos.
We will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.